Right. So as I'm hearing you guys speak, I'm hearing a pattern of a challenge. One of the challenge areas in here being having that one source, single source of asset information in place. That could be quite a bit of a struggle as we are getting to expanding ITSM beyond IT. But to be honest, it doesn't necessarily surprise, I don't think, any of us. I mean, one of the stats found in the recent EMA research was that 32 actually of the respondents view the needs of different organizational groups so different that they do require separate systems for asset tracking. So that does not surprise too much. But what are the other challenges that you think or you, Mark, have come across whilst being on your journey to ESM? And what were the roadblocks that you were kind of trying to overcome? And how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it's probably the cultural side of things that has been the biggest challenge, and don't underestimate it. If especially if there have been long held ways of doing certain things, and there is quite possible there isn't one agreed on way of doing something. So you need to get to the heart of the process, and improve the process, make the process as good as you can, and then at the same time, people are people. They don't always like change, strangely enough. So you need to be mindful of that. But going back to what we said at the start, I suppose it's the what's in it for me, from a customer point of view and from a support provider point of view. How can we fix the pain points that you've got? So there has to be something in it for you. You're not going to succeed if someone had a bit of paper that they pushed around the office, and then you suddenly give them 50 clicks to do the same task. So it has to be an improvement, to get the buy-in.
Right. And Mark, you mentioned before getting some of those internal ambassadors, right? People or departments that were really cheering you on and really advocating for the great work that the ESM was enabling them to do, and the great benefits that they've been seeing from it as well, and kind of spreading the news so that your internal PR was definitely out there, and more hands started popping up in the air saying, hey, we want that too. Phil, are we seeing a similar trend across some of the customers you've been speaking with? Is getting that stakeholder buy-in really a challenge? And question to you both, from Andrea in the audience, actually, what's your tip for aligning the stakeholders and getting their buy-in?
Well, I think you've got to Mark's point, there's a real what's in it for me question that gets asked. You need to show the value within that group, right, or to that individual, to their part of the business, to their part of the organization. The the roadblocks that you might run into are going to. I think the idea that it's cultural is a big piece of it. If a company is if the folks are flexible, if they are eagerly looking for ways to create a better experience, then you're going to have a much easier time getting these things through. But there's a real question about integration that will come up sometime. But we've got this other system over here. How are those two things going to work together? So you need to be working with a platform that's going to support integrations to other solutions. And there's going to be inertia. There's going to be established practices around this awesome spreadsheet-based system they have for tracking this piece of the business, or whatever it is, a shadow IT solution that they've come up with. But I think if you can make the case, if you can show that this is improving in the case of a place like Glasgow, the student experience, it's improving the employee experience, it's improving your experience, right? You're going to have a better experience, or you get more value for this if you make this shift. That's kind of the key to getting those stakeholders on board. Get somebody who's the light bulb appears over their head when you start talking about that value, and they can start to become that advocate.
And you have to accept that the time might not be right for some groups, in that you need to, okay, we'll park you there, we'll come back. We haven't forgotten about you, but it's maybe not the right time. Let's move on with others who are more eager to get on the bus, and then we'll come back and pick you up later on. And sometimes it does take, in some areas, it takes them a while to believe that this will work for them. And quite often they will, or sometimes they'll come back and tell you it was their idea in the first place, but that's humans for you.
Yeah.